Welcome back to Taylrv. I'm Veronica, your host, and today we have a special guest, Elle. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing good. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Elle. I'm the creator of House of Ease, where I help high achieving women escape the rat race and recover from burnout by redefining success on their own terms so that life can feel as good as it looks without exhaustion, burnout, or overwork. And I'm very happy to be here. So thank you for having me, Veronica.
Oh, you're welcome. Let's jump right in. First question, Elle, can you share a defining moment that made you commit to living a life of ease?
I think I was born this way. I
Okay.
think this is just my nature. I have this really sometimes when you're just like, I really like this about myself. Like I really like that I'm a very hard worker. I'm a very diligent hard worker, but I need to do it with ease, with the easiest way possible. So I think this is just the way I was born and raised. If we're going to look at astrology, I'm also a Taurus, so we like to work hard. But we like luxury. We like leisure. We like resting. We like good food. So this is my whole way. But I was raised by a very diligent, very, very ambitious, very successful, hardworking mother. And
Mhm.
so I think who also likes to rest, but she's kind of like on the more overwork, burnout end of the spectrum. And so I also was like, I don't want to work that hard. I don't want to work so hard that I get burnt out. So I've always been aware of it because I saw what it looked like when you don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. And I'm a Scorpio, so we're opposite signs.
Yeah, we're sister signs.
Yeah, I totally get that. I'm just like, now I was talking to Lindsay the other day, and I was just like, I checked out. Not checked out of life, but I checked out of this whole you got to do this, got to do this rat race. I
Mm-mm.
got the degrees, thank you to my ancestors, and this whole, just doing, and not living.
And not living. And it's not sustainable.
No, it's not. It really isn't. It's just like, this is ghetto. It's a scam. And okay, what else can I do with my life? Got a good 40 years left. So I'm like,
That's right.
let's go.
Let's go. And it gets to feel good, like it gets to be easy. It gets to feel easy. And I think we've been so brainwashed into thinking that we have to earn it. We have to toil and labor, and then we will finally achieve rest. Or I always say we are being taught to wait for happy hour, vacation, holiday, weekend, retirement, or death. And then and it's like, what about now? Like
Yeah.
life is now.
Yeah. I've been on that happy hour train. Happy hour train was my escape. Left work at 5, went downstairs conveniently because there was a bar restaurant.
Yeah.
Knew the owner, knew all the drama that went into the restaurant and all the employees that worked there. And like the bartender, since we was regulars, just pouring.
That's right.
Pouring. And it was just like, okay, this is not the way.
This is also not the way. This is
not the way. It gotta be better.
gotta be better. Some balance. And I don't even believe in work-life balance. I believe in integration. Like it needs to feel easy throughout the day. Like it needs to feel like ease needs to be the calibration.
Yeah, exactly. As a Black excellent defector, how do you navigate letting go of society pressures?
Well, thankfully, I think this just goes back to my being a heretical by nature. It's
Mhm.
just I'm a Black excellence defector because I'm heretical. And so because I'm heretical, I don't care about society's pressures. I don't care. Most of the times I'm not aware of them until I miss them and I'm like, "Oh, that was what y'all expected me to do? That's what you thought I was going to say?" That cuz I just don't care. Um,
Mhm.
and so there, that for better or worse, because I think on the worst end of it is that people don't always like that. It's really valued with like blending in, going with the flow, kind
Yeah.
of not rocking the boat. And that's just not my nature. If I'm gonna be authentic, if my authenticity is naturally going to shake things up, I
Mhm.
would always rather be authentic. And some people don't like that.
Yeah, that whole Oh, you don't fit our culture. What do you mean? What is your culture?
What is your culture? And do I want to fit it?
Tell me in detail, what is your culture?
And they don't often say.
No, they don't. They don't. But if you look around and you look at all the employers, you're like, oh, just say it. Just say it.
Just say it. Exactly. Exactly. And I don't want it. I don't want it. If it requires me to shrink or get small or be quiet, I don't want it.
Oh, yes. The quiet part, the do not speak out of turn. And, this is your position.
Yes.
And don't you dare pose a question or ask something but have that conflict, the conversation. And, it's just like, just stay there and smile.
Yeah. Stay in your lane and smile.
Exactly.
That sounds torturous to me. So
Yes.
once I realized that, I was like, oh, I'm a defector. I'm opting out.
Yeah.
Not interested.
What do you think is the biggest myth about women and ambition?
That it's unladylike, that it's unfeminine, that you're not, if you are a woman who's ambitious, it's like you're an exception, and that it's like an exception. And I don't believe that, but I do believe that a lot of women are being ambitious in ways that they've been taught, which isn't actually authentic to them. We were talking about earlier, I am very driven. I'm a very hard worker, but I also have a lot of structure in my life that requires me to do it my way. Like, I don't take client calls on Monday. I don't take calls before 11:30 in the morning. I'm very structured with how I show up. I'm very ambitious, but I do it my own way. And I think a lot of women need to trust that they can be ambitious their own way and still create success on their own terms and not have to conform to whatever a man's way. I'm just saying that in air quotes,
Right.
but like,
yeah,
I have to work 80 hours a week and exhaust myself and sacrifice and and then I'll be, no, girl, you don't.
Yeah. That also comes with like learning about yourself. Like I've done a very deep dive about my likes, my dislikes, what I want to do, where I want to be.
Yes.
And you really have to do the work on yourself.
That's right.
To be like, this ain't working out. I gotta go. Peace out. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, no, bye.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to trust that that's okay.
Yeah.
That you're going to figure it out. And I think a lot of people like formulas that someone else made up, that someone else gave them, and they're just going to follow it. But when you know yourself and you're like, I can actually do it my way, then you're unstoppable. No one can take that from you.
Yeah, because eventually the formula runs out, because what you did in your 20s is not going to help you in your 40s. That same formula is not going to work because you're probably burnt out by then.
That's right.
Like, what? Yeah, I got another formula. This does not fit me anymore.
Exactly. So you got to learn how to make your own formula for your own self.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
What daily rituals help you stay grounded in your values?
Such good questions. These are such good questions. So I've had a daily meditation practice for 15 years. I do Vipassana meditation, and I do Vipassana meditation, and you only can learn Vipassana specifically at Vipassana retreats, which are free, but they're residential 10-day silent meditation retreats. Like, you can't even look at other people there.
Oh, wow.
You don't look, you don't talk to other people for 10 days. You do like 11 hours of meditation a day. Wow. Like, you literally are supposed to look at the ground when you pass by people. Like, you're supposed to be in your own, it's supposed to feel like a solo meditation retreat, but you're in it with other people. So I've done that 5 times, 5 10-day retreats, and that's my daily meditation practice. And then I also do the Artist Way has a morning pages practice, which you write 3 long form handwritten pages. And I do that every day to just get all the first thoughts out of my mind, all the busy mind, all that stuff, get it on paper. And I just write about the most arbitrary, random, nothing of important stuff, but it just gets me out of my mind so I can focus on the other stuff. And those are my 2 things I do every day without compromise. And then other things come in and out, but those are the 2 non-negotiables.
Wow, that sounds really good. I mean, 11 hours just like in total silence. Some people will go crazy though.
I know you do. It's maddening.
Yeah, but I think after a while, it's like, okay, your thoughts are calm because I'm in my head all day, every
Yeah.
day. And, like going out, and I'm like, did she do that because I was this color? Or did they did that because I was, you know what, Veronica, just keep it pushing.
Keep it pushing.
It becomes too much.
It's too much because you'll never know like why
You don't
people
know.
are weird. I'm learning people are weird.
Yeah, exactly. How does your physical space reflect your value of
Oh,
ease and
Veronica.
freedom?
Oh, Veronica.
I was getting to this.
I know. Okay.
It doesn't have to reflect you.
So
Reflect your face.
it does, and I would say 35% it does,
Okay.
65% it does not. So I live in a studio apartment,
Okay.
and I live in artist community, which is an old school building. It's a school building that's been converted into artist lofts. So
Okay.
it was built in the 1800s. So it's huge windows, original woodwork. Like my apartment used to be a science classroom. So it's like all original cabinetry, original floor. Like it's a very cool building,
Hmm.
but I need more structure. So I get very overstimulated being in a studio space because everything in one room does not reflect ease to me or freedom. Like I like doors that close. I like compartments. I
Oh,
like that kind of. So it's very overwhelming to me to have my whole life in a studio apartment. So I've been
have
here
you,
for 10 years, but it's
uh,
not my ideal.
oh, okay. And have you tried anything like, like dividers or like bookshelves, trying to like,
This is what makes it tricky. So it's a square or a rectangle, however it is.
mhm.
One wall is the front door.
Okay.
So the other wall is like my bathroom door, and I have a loft, and it's the kitchen. And then the other wall is windows, and then this wall is all floor to ceiling cabinets, and then this bookshelf here. So there's no free space wall. There's no blank wall to build things out. So everything has to be in the room. Does that?
Okay. I mean, you can make some stuff in the room. Everything doesn't have to be pushed off to the wall. It's just kind of have a flow of, okay, this little corner here is my living room space, and
Yeah.
then you can make something over there as like my bedroom.
Yes. My bed's on a loft, so that at least isn't taking up floor space.
Okay, so it's like you have stairs, you walk up.
Yes.
Okay.
And I do have some, but it doesn't just the way my brain works with space. I don't have a very good spatiality understanding. Like you could say 3 inches and 9 inches, I would have no idea what the difference is. I don't, I have no comprehension of that. So it gets overwhelming to me just the way my brain is wired, that
Uh-huh.
the spatiality I need an expert like yourself to,
Okay. I'm
to
here.
show me things.
I'm here.
Okay. So I do my best to make it feel easy and freedom
Uh-huh.
because I need it, but it's not the real ease and freedom for me is multiple bedrooms and
Okay.
things spread out.
Spread out. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Can you walk us through you did kind of walk us through your morning routine or evening routine in your space.
I don't really have an evening routine. My morning routine is that. My evening routine is I don't really have I've never really had an evening routine. I think I just let my energy taper off and then I crawl into bed.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Nothing, no ritual, no routine.
No routine. Okay. Yeah. Some people are like, oh, I, drink some tea before I go to bed. I do a
Mm.
facial routine.
Oh, I do that, like
Do a
do a
facial
facial
routine.
routine. Yeah, those kinds of things, but nothing that when I think about routine, I think about like checking in with myself. I don't have anything that officially closes the day that way.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. How do you use organization to support your emotional clarity and peace?
As much as I get overwhelmed trying to organize things, I love organization. So, like my favorite planner, I'm obsessed with this planner. It's called the Productivity Planner.
Huh?
It's a different name right now, but she's changed the name. But it's a Black woman owned planner company, and oh, I'm obsessed with it because it really does help me organize. It's a quarterly planner. It's a 12-week planner, and
Mhm.
so this helps me break down my quarterly goals and then break it down to everyday daily planner and structure. So that helps me so much so that I can take my big ideas and break them down to bite-sized tangible pieces. We
Mhm.
met in the YouTube, Stephanie Perry's YouTube challenge. And, you know, I approach YouTube like it's a job, a
You
job.
sure do. You sure do. I know you do. I'd be like, how's she doing? I'd be like, she put out another video. I was like, I gotta catch up. You're muted. Where did you go? You're muted. Did I mute you by
I
accident?
think I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
I really do approach it like it's a job. And so
Uh-huh.
this helps me so much. Like writing down my ideas, what I'm doing, like really mapping out the details so I don't have to hold it all in my brain.
Mhm.
What else helps me? I like things that go in things. I just like labels, I like boxes, I like compartments. That really helps me physically, but also just mentally and emotionally create space to breathe and let the flow so that the ease can flow. So for my flow, structure helps. Structure helps my flow
Mhm.
immensely.
That's good. That's good. Let's check it out in chat. Who's here? Hi, Bottomus. Who else is here?
Hi.
Hi, Tiffany. Thank you for joining us. Okay. What roles does decluttering play in your overall wellness?
I think I need someone to hold my hand through this process of decluttering. I think I really do need an expert to come in and really be expertised in this because decluttering, because I live in a studio, it
Mhm,
feels more cluttered, I think, than it should because like the organization, the structure thing that we were talking about earlier, and
mhm.
it's just a little overwhelming. So I try to keep things like I don't have extra things, but I think the organization part needs to go hand in hand with decluttering. Like I need to figure out that's not a strength of mine for sure.
Okay. And then what about decluttering other parts of your life, like finances, health? Um,
That
that
is feels very streamlined.
okay.
That all the rest of it, I think it's just the physical space that feels cluttered, but the rest of it feels because I'm very singularly focused. Like I know what I want, I know what my values are, I know what's important to me. And so I just align everything in my life to support that. So right now I'm preparing to move abroad, either to Bangkok or Vietnam. And everything I'm doing, that's why I'm so, you know, focused on my YouTube channel, focused on all of the things. It's all in support of that. And so that being knowing that I have a singular focus helps filter out any other nonsense.
Okay.
A friend of mine, I think they're going to the WNBA finals, I think, or something in Las Vegas. And I was like, they want me to join. And I'm like, I love the idea of coming,
Right.
but is it getting me closer to Bangkok?
Right.
Probably not. So I probably won't be there. No, but I'm there in spirit, in my
Yes.
heart.
I feel you. When you're traveling or moving through different spaces, how do you maintain a sense of ease?
I love this question. So it depends on how much money I have to
Okay.
spend. Because the first thing I'm gonna do if I got money, is I'm flying first class.
Okay.
That's
Listen.
that's the first thing.
Okay.
That's it.
That's a sense of ease.
That's it.
You can't get no more ease than that.
No, it's my favorite. I love flying first class internationally, specifically. So if I have money and I have enough money to spend for that I'm always going to fly first class if it's in my budget because there's nothing like having that bed go horizontal and then putting sheets on it and then closing the door, like
Uh-huh.
sliding the door Ain't nothing like it. Ain't nothing like it. So that's my first thing. If I don't have that, I will not fly first class. But when I can, I do. Other ways I support myself with ease are body work before and after. So I try to get a massage before I get on the plane and a massage when I land. Like I just try to get, which also helps with jet lag and helps like really get back in my body and integrate it. Fresh fruit, like as much support helping me integrate emotionally, physically, energetically is a top tier priority because it's easy to, it just shortens the turnaround time for feeling good in my back and my body.
That's good. Tiffany said, massage is a good idea.
So good.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Are there any small changes in your home that made a big impact on your energy?
Yes. Okay. Y'all know I'm about ease. So I love hiring house cleaners to come and clean because I love cleanliness, but that's not my strength. That's not my gift. I am very appreciative, but I'm not very great at doing the cleaning. There are people who are better and more passionate. So that's something that helps me, just hiring people who can help me in where I'm weak. They are strong. And that is very helpful. But other than that, I just try my best to stay organized. I try my best to keep things in a structured way. Physically, the physical space. Will you say the question again? I want to make sure I'm accurately answering it. Any small changes in your home that make a big impact on your energy? Definitely having regular house cleaning.
Okay.
This is such a small change, but it does make a big difference on my energy. It feels so mundane to even say it, but I'm going to say it because you asked about small changes. I just bought a 3-section laundry cart.
Oh, okay.
3 different bags, one for light, one for colored, and one for dark.
Yes.
That's what I mean by like structure and organization. I'm like, let my apparatus do the work for me. I don't want to have to get in there and do all this.
Yes.
So that's a small thing that has made a huge difference.
That's good. That's great. That's great. It's the little things.
It's the little things. For real. And you can take out each bag separately. So I can, anyway, it's just small, but it makes a big difference.
It's very convenient instead of, and it saves you time, and it's like, boop, boop, boop. And then you can go about your business and do whatever else you need to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. I get that same thing where like, as a professional organizer, they think I'm a cleaner and it's like, that's extra, boo. I don't clean, I help you declutter. Cleaning is important.
Yes.
Right? But we need to get this stuff that is cluttering up your space out of the home. Right? And then we got to sit down and figure out a system that's going to work for you. Cleaning is important. It's part of the process, but that's not what I do. So
it's 2 different things.
Completely different things. And the price is a big difference. Okay. You're not trying to pay me $25 an hour to come clean and organize. No, that's not how it works.
And it's like you said, you're setting up a system because that's what I really need, right? I need a system that I can just repeat and maintain. I'm not good at coming up with that on my own. That's why we hire the professionals as yourself to do the work.
That's right.
Yes.
Right. What inspired you to turn your message of ease into a brand and business?
I've been doing this work for like 25 years, and I've talked about it in different ways over the years. Ultimately, my work is always soul work. It's always internal work. It's always self-work. But I've found that I'm not always that great at articulating that because that's a whole different conversation. It's like soul, religion, right? It's a different thing. But what has been the through line through my 25 years of doing this work is that Black women in particular, and my clients aren't exclusively Black women, but I am a Black woman and I talk to Black women, is that we feel like we have to earn rest. We feel like we have to earn leisure. We feel like we have to prove it. We have to show that we're worthy of it. Like there has to be some sacrifice. There has to be some suffering. And I just think that that's a lie from the pit of hell. Like it's just not true. And so I started to think about, well, how can I communicate about what I do ultimately in a way that people can actually hear it and that they actually can understand it? And so I was like, what's the commonality? A lot of my clients, past and present, have had burnout, have had exhaustion. They've come to me when they were overwhelmed. They were overworked. They didn't have great boundaries. They didn't know how to say no. They felt selfish when they took care of themselves.
I'm one of your clients.
Exactly. Exactly. So I was like, we need to center that in the conversation. The rest of it comes with it, but that's it. Because I don't want to see Black women or anybody, but particularly Black women, burn out and exhausted. I don't want to see it. We deserve better.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in, corporations where it's like, oh, just having a casual conversation, but I didn't know it was leading up to, oh, come over or let's do this on my day off. Like,
Ooh.
and it was just like, it at first, it felt like nothing. But after a while, if you keep on repeating the same steps, eventually you're going to learn your lesson. And it's just like, no, I'm busy, even if I'm sitting at home, twirling my hair, I'm busy. I got stuff to do. Family members in town.
That's right. That's it. And that's enough.
I'm booked and
busy.
Something else.
That's it. And that's enough.
For you. I gave you 40 hours a week and you're trying to get more out of me? Like,
what would they want you to be doing?
Just stuff. Random stuff. They just make up random stuff like, oh, we need to file this. Well, why we didn't do that in the office? Why we didn't take time out to do that in the office? I don't need to come in the weekend and do that.
No.
Or I don't need to go over there to this place and do that or get that, or like, it was like they had me for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It was just like, yeah, no.
No, we're not. I used to be a birth doula. Do you know what a birth?
Oh, okay.
Like a birth companion, which I love. I love being a birth doula, but I retired because I hated being on call. I hate it. And birth is unpredictable, right? Like I'm not trying to, that comes with the territory, but I was like, oh, I don't want to be on call all the time for weeks and sometimes months, because there's a buffer time when I couldn't have more than one glass of wine and I couldn't go to sleep at like that, being at someone else's beck and call. I don't want it. Bless the people who do it. Yeah. That ain't for me. And when you've done your 40 hours, you really don't want to have to be on call for somebody else.
No, you don't. Like, at a point you try to be nice and generous, but when it's like, oh, it's kind of like because now they're being abusive, because it's like, oh, she'll do it. I'll just get her to do it. She'll do this. Oh, don't worry. And then volunteer. My service is like, no. Yeah. That's why we burnt out.
Exactly.
I need time to myself.
Exactly. I believe strongly in a no.
Yes. Eventually I learned that, years down the road, but yes, you have to go through your lessons.
It's true.
Yeah. How do you manage growth without overextending yourself?
I trust my process. I trust myself. And I know, like we were talking about, I love a no. I love a no with myself too, right? Like I have to know when no is for me. Cause like I said, I'm driven, I'm hardworking. I love to get it done. But I also like, girl, you need to chill, right? So that's why I don't believe in work-life balance, but I believe in integration. Like, and this is as my examples. I don't take client calls on Monday. I don't take any call before 11:30 in the morning, any day of the week, right? Like I have very structured boundaries, which allow that ease and that flow so that I can take good care of myself and not feel pressured. Like there was another example I can't think of at the top of my head, but structure saves my life. Boundaries save my life so that I don't overwork or overextend myself or anybody else. And because I'm singularly focused, right? I'm like, get out of Dodge. That's my one focus. Get out of here and have the money be good. That's it. Yeah. So if it's not supporting that, I don't want it.
Yeah, I hear you. I do that sometimes too, where it's like, all right, listen to yourself. If I'm not up to it, I don't do it.
That's it.
Because forcing myself to do it is going to turn out, shitty, or
Exactly.
something, I'm gonna miss something. So I'm just like, all right, I'll give myself time and space, and then I'll jump back into it.
That's
You know?
exactly it.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
So, what systems or tools keep your business flowing with minimalist stress?
Okay, first of all, Chat GPT and I are real deep. Okay,
Okay.
we are real deep in the pocket. I am very appreciative of Chat GPT because right now, and I've had assistants in the past, but right now I'm solo in my business,
Hmm.
and Chat GPT helps me do specific things. Like I don't want broad or generic. I don't want to sound like anybody else. But if there are things I need help thinking through or thinking around, ChatGPT is incredibly helpful. So I like using AI as support, but not as the muscle or the machine behind my business. But it does do a lot of things that that I've hired copywriters for in the past. Like I've hired podcast editor, a lot. Oh, I also use Riverside to edit my YouTube videos and my podcast. So like resourcing AI, I have the feeling that we are just at the beginning and it's about to get out of control. But in the meantime,
You think we? I think we're already out of control with AI.
I agree.
It's like every day something new is popping up, and it's like, oh, why write your ebook? Why write a novel when you can just put it in there and it just pops pops up, and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
And these deep fake videos and photos, it's like, is this a real person? Is this a machine? And what is
It's insane.
yeah. Things are happening. So I try not to get I don't ever want AI to be the dominant anything in my business, but I do like resourcing it as a useful tool.
Okay.
Canva, I love Canva.
Mhm.
I've hired graphic designers for lots and lots of money. And now I'm like, I can just do easier things myself. It's just ease.
Yeah, ease. What did Tiffany say? Tiffany said, I am taking a career break to Europe. Okay, Tiffany.
Yes.
And I'm so happy to just say I cannot, I'm not in town.
That's it. I ain't here.
I ain't here. What you gonna do? But you gotta figure it out.
That is it.
That's great. Okay. All right. What boundaries have you had to set in your business to protect your peace?
So some of them I've shared. Another is, so sometimes depending on what my offer is, I might have 3 days of Voxer that go along with it. Voxer, for those who aren't familiar, is like a walkie-talkie app. You can send voice messages or text messages. And so even in my day of Voxer, and I used to have a standalone day of Voxer where you could just ask me questions and Q&A. I'm like, have your you can leave me unlimited amount of Voxer messages, no longer than 3 minutes. And I check Voxer 3 to 4 times a day. That's it. So get your questions in between these and so hours,
Right.
no longer than 3 minutes. So, but I'm like unlimited, but I don't want to be sitting there listening to a 45-minute voice note from you. That ain't gonna work. That's not ease, boo. But if you leave 10 3-minute messages, I can pop in, I can listen throughout the day. It's fine. So for me, it always begins with like, what works for me? What works for my brain? What works for my energy? What do I need? And then I'll offer it to my clients and work with them. Now, I have had clients who have come in with more bespoke, custom, completely hands-on retreats or intensives that we created completely for them. Then I got a little bit more flexibility. Then you paying a little bit more money, I got a little bit more flexibility. But it depends. So it depends. But always with boundaries, always with structure, always with boundaries.
Yeah. Good.
Which is the benefit of having your own business, and you don't have to go back to those corporate people who calling you in on the weekends, which is wild.
Exactly. How do you stay creative and consistent as a content creator and entrepreneur?
So the morning pages that I mentioned to you before, with the book, The Artist's Way, that helps me stoke my creativity, and the book itself. And consistent is my nature. I'm just going to be, because I'm only doing things I want to do. So I can't force myself to do anything that I won't. So I'm only doing things that I want to do, which is why I can stay consistent in them and creative. So I just want to get better. Like I want to get better at making YouTube videos. I want to get better at thumbnails. I want to get better. So that, because I have a goal with it. So as long as everything's working towards my goal, then it helps fuel my creativity and fuel my consistency. For example, on YouTube, creativity makes you stand out, right? That's being different makes you stand out. So I'm going to make sure that that's the center of my life. And, I buy a new pink wig every 2 weeks because they're terrible quality, but I love pink hair. I'm in my pink hair era. So I'm like, I love it. And I had pink hair when I had an afro. I had pink hair when I had locks. I've had pink hair in all different iterations, but I'm like, this also makes me stand out. Like I'm the pink hair wig girl. You know what I mean? Like there are things that feel authentic to me that also are my creative expression. And I love this backdrop we have today. Purple is my favorite color, so these are the things that I enjoy also.
That's good.
We're coordinated. I'm on the purple side and you're on the blue side.
I'm on the blue side, yeah.
I love it. Did you do that on purpose?
No, I was just.
You were in your creative bag.
Putting stuff up and I was like, okay, I haven't done a live in a while. Let me get this together.
It works.
All right, good. What's one piece of advice you'll give to a woman over 40 launching something new?
It depends on what they're launching from. So if they're starting, like say they're in corporate America, they've had this same career for the last 25 years or 30 years or I don't know, however long, 15 years. And they're launching something new. I would say the first fundamental for everybody is just trust yourself, trust your process, give yourself permission to experiment, to play, to fail, to get it wrong, to get it right. Like you don't have to be a know-it-all. You don't have to have all the answers. And do it incrementally. Like you don't have to take a big leap if that's not your style, but do keep showing up for yourself. Do keep showing up for the thing, even if you don't necessarily think it's going well. That's the first thing. And the second thing is to get support. Hire people. I already told you, I believe in hiring a cleaner. I believe in hiring. I send out for laundry. I believe in hiring, I believe. So hire coaches, hire consultants, hire an organizer, hire whatever you need to help you. Like you don't have to, even though you're 40 years, maybe 15 years in one career, you know how to do that, but you need probably help doing the new thing. So don't be afraid to hire people to help you with that.
Yeah, I went through that same thing where it was like, when I first started my business 9 years ago, it was just like, I'm betting on me.
That's it.
And no matter what happens, we gonna stay out of trying to work for somebody else.
That's it.
And no, I do not belong sitting behind a desk or office. I don't like people telling me, well, you should have did it that way. And it's like, no, this is my idea. This is me being creative. And you want to structure me to do it that way. And it's just like, I'm not a robot.
No.
That's what kept me out.
That's right.
And it's just like, but now the asking for help, because I've always been, my business has always been my baby. So I've always been protective of my business. And now it's just like, I've come to a point where it's just like, child, take her. Take her. I need about 3-4 months off. Take her.
Yes.
Figure something out.
Figure it out. Because there are people, that's like we met in Stephanie Perry's YouTube success challenge, right? Like by that time I had like 400 YouTube videos, but I wasn't monetized. They weren't getting a lot of views. So I needed support. I needed community. I needed strategy. And that has helped. Now I'm monetized, like now I'm even doing better than I was before. Sometimes it takes someone who knows what they're doing to help you get where you want to go. I mean, because I'm like, I look at Stephanie Perry and I'm like, she has over 100 and something subscribers on her channel. She's making a lot of money from her channel and through her business. I want to learn from her,
right,
about YouTube.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pay.
Yeah, and that was great. I loved her class. That was a great class, and I met all you ladies. So it's like, it was really, really cool. And it's like I forced myself to get on YouTube because people was telling me about YouTube, 5-10 years ago, and I was like, that's not me.
Why? What about it felt like it wasn't you?
I don't know, because I'm a Scorpio, so I'm a very private person.
Yeah.
And it's like, you open yourself up to all these things. And that was kind of like my fear, like of being attacked. But
Hmm.
now I'm just like, they're gonna attack me whether they like me, whether they like me or not.
Yeah.
And so now I'm trying something different. I'm in a different space. I'm transitioning. I'm trying to get the hell up out of this country.
Yes.
Girl,
No.
girl. like
It's
my
time to go.
boyfriend might be like, so you ready to move? I'm like, oh, we packing today. It's just like you said, your focus is to get, monetized and to get this and to get that and to get.
Yes,
That's my focus.
that's it.
When are we leaving? Because I'm
That's
already packed. like,
that's it.
when are we leaving?
That's it. This is kind of random, but I went to Spelman College and I don't have my diploma. And I'm applying for a job in Bangkok that requires proof of graduating from college. So I ordered my diploma in February. It finally arrived today. Today. Let me just show y'all just so you can see my little diploma finally arrived today.
Oh,
yes. And I was like, okay, next I got to scan this, email it out to the job that I'm applying for. But I'm like, keep the train rolling. We got to go. This time. So every piece in place, but sometimes it takes 3 months to get a college diploma. Who knew?
Yeah. Who knew? That's a long time.
Sometimes Spelman acts like it's 1988. What'd you say?
All I gotta do is print it. Right?
Sometimes Spelman acts like it's 1988. Like, let me just tell you. Let me just tell you what I had to do. This is how analog they are. I had to go to the website and print out a diploma replacement form, fill it out, mail it. There's no fax. I couldn't fax it. I couldn't email it. I couldn't scan it. I had to mail it with a money order in the mail to them. And it took weeks to get there. And finally it got here and they said they sent anyway. So it's a very manual. Sometimes it's 1988 at Spelman College, but it finally has arrived.
Can somebody update their system? They need me to come in and be like, listen, this ain't working.
I asked them, they were like, this is it. This is
fast pace.
This is our system. And it's not a printout. It's like literally, it's a raised, it's a embossed, I guess, whatever. Like you can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, y'all, this can't be the only option. Come on.
A money order? I gotta go all the way to the check cashing place. Oh, Western Union, you get a money order?
The post office. I got it from the post office.
Like,
they said money order.
It's like, oh, child.
I said, this is a journey. This is okay, but okay, I got it. I'm gonna do what I gotta do because again, my focus is singular. Yeah. What do I got to do to get out of here? You need a copy of my college diploma. I'll get a copy of my college diploma. I got to do the things.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. What are your top travel tips for maintaining rest and balance on the go?
Sleep, hydrate, massage, fly first class if you can. Mm-hmm. Those are like as much logistical support as you can. But I've been traveling abroad for a long time. I left the country for the first time when I was 14, I think 13 or no, I turned 14 in France. So, and I went abroad by myself for the first time when I was 17. So I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I've been doing this a long time. So my tips may not be, but if you're new travel, for example, I would say be really gentle with yourself. Like it's not going to be perfect. It may not be familiar. It may not be comfortable all the time, but be gentle with yourself and trust your gut, but not necessarily your fear. Trust. Okay, maybe I don't need to talk to this person, but maybe I do need to talk to this person. Maybe learn how to trust yourself, but don't live in fear because the world is a rich, amazing, beautiful, creative, powerful space. And a lot of people are great, especially if they're not in America. Like Americans are not always great people.
They're not. I mean, like, I've had to tell a couple people when I was moving, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, the first thing, Al, what are you going to do for work? Work, okay, all right. I don't work my ass off for the last 20 some odd years. I'm tired.
Yes,
I'm gonna go and sit on the beach and have a cocktail.
that's right.
I'm gonna go walk in the forest and hug the trees.
That's right.
I'm gonna learn how to plant flowers. I'm gonna do some gardening. Like, why is everything about work? And that's another thing in the United States. Yeah, it's about work. That's who you are. Work, 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 work. And it's like, forget work.
That's right. So it's part of the question, to answer your question about ease, is like unhooking from that American work, 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 capitalism, consumerism, like sit on a beach with a Mai Tai, watch the sunset,
Yes.
exhale,
Yes.
have nothing on your calendar. That's what I recommend. Like,
Yes.
breathe.
Breathe. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. And I
Yeah.
was also telling Lindsay, I said, I have to unlearn all the things that I learned in America. And then when I go to France, relearn some new things.
That's right. That's exactly right. And French is going to
Yeah.
teach you, because French people know how to chill. They know how to
Okay.
eat good food and drink good wine. They know. It's very ingrained in French culture and French people. There's no, I mean, there is rush, but there is nothing as severe as it is here.
No.
So
Oh,
even their rushing is mild compared to
yeah.
here.
It's like, oh, here's just, I don't know, I'm just checked out. People are like, you want to do this? And I'm like,
Mm-mm.
no, but you used to love it. And I'm like, and I was born and raised in New York City. And this is like, my New York is gone.
Yes.
My New York City is gone and it's not coming back.
How do you deal with that? Because I feel the very same about Seattle.
Like, it's just what it is. Like, I don't enjoy it anymore. I don't, places that I used to go is gone. There's new people here, but there's nothing exciting. It's just like a constant like cycle
Yeah.
of doing the same thing over and over again. And it's just like, yeah, I can leave this now.
Yeah.
Leave this now. I've come to terms with it. Before I was like, leave New York? Where am I gonna go? Like, everyone's here.
Did it feel like it was like the center of the world at that time?
It was the center. This is what I tell Lindsay. I said, New York was the center of the world and everyone was here.
Yeah.
And now I have to go to every other place to see the world.
Yeah.
I have to leave to see the world because it's just not the same, and yeah. And I mean, I lived through old New York, it's like crackheads and, drug dealers and like, but here I just don't feel safe. I don't feel ease.
Yeah. And are you talking specifically Manhattan or the boroughs as well? I mean, I guess Manhattan is a borough, but like the other boroughs.
Yeah, like Manhattan, but everywhere, because you're constantly on alert, right? You're always looking over your shoulders. And that's just kind of how like we grew up in New York City. Like, you have to be on alert, watch out, if you see certain things, across the street, or if you feel something, go the other way, or it's just always been like that.
But it's different now?
It's worse now.
Oh.
It's worse now, because it's like, okay, everybody's acting weird, and it's just like, I just don't feel safe. So I mean, if I don't have to go out, to a client, I stay home and, work online, because
that's so intense. It's especially as a New Yorker, like you're not from like Kansas, you're from New York. And no shade to Kansas. I'm just saying Kansas is not New York. Like, it's just a different way to grow up, right?
Yeah.
That's so like, wow.
It's just like,
yeah.
I mean, Lindsay and I, we stayed in Times Square for like, what was that, like 10 minutes? And he's like, All right,
You'd had your fill?
let's go. We've had it. Okay. Oh, I remember this. I remember that. All right. All right, let's go.
Okay, wait, I have one more question about it because this is fascinating to me. What was Times Square like 30 years ago? Or what did it used to be like?
Before the lights, camera, and action, it was just run down, abandoned buildings,
Oh.
like, and then it, came to life. But it was like, hookers and like, we had all those what do you call them pop-ins. So like you can see like the dancers, like strip shows.
Oh, uh-huh. Like peep shows.
Yeah, peep shows. That's what,
Uh-huh.
yeah. And it was
Uh-huh.
just like it was all that all over. And it was this, and it smelled real bad. It still smells bad in New York. you know, it was all of that, but like
But it was New York. That felt like New
it
York.
was New York. It was like the rawness
Yeah.
of New York. And it was still violent back then.
Mm.
But I guess since I was a kid, it didn't really affect me. You know what I mean? Because I was like with my parents or whatever,
Yeah.
walking, and it's like you see stuff, but it's not the same. Oh my gosh, we used to go to a movie theater. You used to see 3 movies for the price of one.
Whoa. Does that even exist? Does the theater exist anymore? They're like,
It's gone.
Wow. You
Yeah.
know, I know this is totally not the topic that we were, but this is a fascinating topic because I'm in Seattle. I'm born and raised in Seattle. You're born and raised in New York. And I think to just thinking about it, Seattle and New York are very dissimilar. Like people don't think about them on the same conversation. But the same experience that you're having around New York is the same way I feel about Seattle. I love being from Seattle, but the
Mhm.
Seattle I grew up in does not exist anymore. It doesn't exist. The restaurants, the shops, the stores, the communities, the neighborhoods, it's been gentrified out. Like we had one black neighborhood, which if you went there today, you wouldn't even know it used to be a black neighborhood. And it was where we had all of our institutions, church, everything was there. And it's like the city I'm from doesn't exist, which has so much grief for me. It's like, that's why when we talk about leaving, I'm like, there's nothing, what's here?
It's here. Exactly.
There's nothing here for me other than nostalgia, which
Yeah.
it's not sustainable.
No, it's not. It's not. And I think that's why I can I'm ready now to just, all right, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Leave,
Yeah.
when you start getting anxiety all the time just to be outside, I was like, all right, I gotta go. It's not good for my health. The food here is like it's killing us.
Yeah.
You can't get a break. You can't, everybody want to try to, cut low on your prices. Oh no, but can you do this? And it's like, no, I'm not doing all that work. No.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. Not for that price. No.
No, we said no. We are centering no. No.
So yeah, it's like all right, I'm ready to go and to find a new home.
Yeah.
You know.
One that feels more like you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
I support you.
Thank you. Support you too.
Thank you. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see, but I see the comments are commenting.
Oh, let's see.
The chat is chatting.
Oh, look. Speaking of L.
Hello, the plant plan.
What's going on? What else she said?
No, it still has my original graduation date on it. Back in the day, the early aughts, but class, ooh, no.
Wait, she said they sent it by pony.
They did. They did. They went time traveling. It has been on a horse and buggy to get here.
Tiffany said it's the culture here.
In Florida? You're in,
Where
are you, Tiffany?
Tiffany's in Florida, but Tiffany, you lived in
She's from New York, right? Though.
Yeah, from New York. Okay. So I think she's talking about that. Let's see what else. Saying The unlearning is so hard. Yeah, it is.
It is.
It is. It is. But you gotta be willing and able to do it,
That's right.
you know, because then you're walking around in the world with this chip on your shoulder, thinking that everybody's out to get you, and
And they're not.
they're
They're
not
just minding their own business.
minding their own business. They're like, ooh. She said, "Well, you still can see through a movie for one, but I'm gonna keep legal in the chat." You know what?
Just sneaking into different theaters. I have done that,
Mm,
admittedly.
mm, mm, mm. Okay, all right, all right, all right. Where are we? Um, is there a destination that
Oh.
helps you reconnect deeply with yourself?
Oh, I love this question so much. Yes. I mean, yes.
Yes.
Every place has always helped me. Every place. I've been to 26 countries at this point, and
Wow.
every place has helped me connect to myself. But my top 3
Mm-hmm.
are Nepal. I love Nepal. I just felt a call to go to Nepal. That was a rhyme.
Mm.
Hey.
Hey.
I felt a call. And so I just went to Nepal. I didn't know nothing about Nepal. I didn't know anybody who had been there. And I didn't know anybody who had been there. I just wanted to go. And so I went.
Mm-hmm.
Nepal, Ghana also just felt deeply connected for me. And Cuba. Those are my top 3 favorite countries. I love Cuba. I love Cuba. I loved Cubans. They helped me. But also, not my favorite country, which is India. And I've been there twice,
Mm-hmm.
help me connect with myself because it's not my favorite country. Like, because, for example, every sense is engaged all of the time in India: smell, sight, sound, taste, and temperature all of the time. And so, and it's a different culture. I don't speak Hindi, even though they speak a lot of speak English. So, like, having to be aware also and resourceful connected me with a part of myself that I wouldn't have to had I been in somewhere that was more familiar. So
Mm.
every country brings out different things.
Mm-hmm. That's good. How do you pack or plan travel in a way that reflects your lifestyle values?
Well, this is going to be an unconventional answer, but I have an iMac, which is what we're on now, like a big desktop Mac. And that has been with me to Atlanta, LA, Rwanda. I'm going to pack up my big desktop computer and bring it with me. I found a brilliant YouTube video. So I have like swimming pool floaties that I pack it with, and I wrap it in all kinds of stuff. And that's my clothes. Yes, I always bring weather appropriate clothes because I learned the hard way, because I went to Australia in what was, I thought, going to be the summer, but no, it was their winter, because I was leaving the summer in the States and I had to ship my clothes back. So I had to learn the hard way. But
Ooh.
other than that, the things that are important to me to ship are my computer. My desktop is like, I have to bring her with me so that I can work in a way that I value, and I like my computer. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's good. And how long do you do that before? Like, you ship it, like how many weeks?
Oh, I take it on the plane with me.
Are you taking a plane? Oh, they don't give
Mhm.
you no pillow?
Nope. That's why I wrap it and insulate it and
Okay.
swaddle it and all the things, but that's what I'm saying. I've taken it all around the world with me, and she's been fine.
Okay.
I would not. Oh, that's not true. No, that is true. But I started doing that's right. Oh, let me tell you a story. That's right. I forgot how we got here. When I bought her when I was in Atlanta for 5 months,
Okay.
in 2022, 2021, 22. And then I shipped the original back via via FedEx, and
Mhm.
FedEx lost her. But I had taken out insurance on her. So a couple of days before I left for Rwanda, I got a check for $1,700 from FedEx.
Okay.
And then my computer arrived. So I got the FedEx and I got my computer.
Oh, good.
So I'm only sharing this publicly now because hopefully the terms have passed. Yes. But, win-win.
Win-win. What's a non-negotiable you take with you no matter where you go?
My computer, for sure.
Either.
Everything else, because I don't think you have to take the whole kitchen sink with you. For the most part, I like my clothes, so I take my clothes with me. But for the most part, anything I need, I can get there. There are ashy people there. They're going to be lotion. There's going to be whatever I need. I can find it wherever I'm going to go.
Right.
So I don't, other than like those kinds of things, there's nothing I need with me.
How do you support clients who feel guilty about slowing down?
That's why I do the work I do. That's why I do it. So my 3-month coaching program, my one-on-one coaching is called Success Reset, because it is a process. It's not just one and done. It's not like a hack. I don't believe in hacks. It's not a magic formula. It's not something I can like whisper in your ear at night. Like it's a rewiring. It's a deconditioning. It's a reframing. And so although a lot, we have a lot of things in common, but for the most part, I like to get into the psyche of my clients, like into the what is your actual story that you're telling yourself about why you can? Where did that come from? And how do we heal and transform that? How do we really release the guilt? Because the guilt is an idea. It's not based on anything real. You know what I mean? Like for example, if I can say my full chest, I love flying international first class. Some people feel guilty about that. I don't have guilt, but some people do. They're like, whatever their thing is, right? So we have to get to the heart of it, because when we get to the heart of it and really heal and transform that, it affects everything else in the life.
Yeah. Wonder why they feel guilty. Like you don't it's the whole like, I don't deserve this.
I could spend this money on something else. I could give it to somebody who needs it more. Why, who am I to be in first class when all of that. It's the same. It shows up in first class. It shows up anywhere.
Yeah.
It's the story. So we heal the story, and that changes everything.
Yeah. Yeah. In what way do you help women rediscover their identity beyond their achievements?
I think that's the most important word, is identity. I was thinking about this the other day when it came to myself. I don't even remember what I was thinking about, but we get something from whatever patterns we've set up, right? Like whatever patterns, it informs how we think of ourselves. And so the real work is creating an authentic identity that's not based on external achievements. And often it's not that we have to create a new identity, because as kids, we didn't care. Like it wasn't that big of a deal, right? Until someone told us, oh, you're so smart. You're so talented. You're so helpful. You're so supportive. You're so giving, whatever the things that we started to be like, oh, that's my identity. That's who I am. That's what gives me value. So my work is helping my clients rediscover their value outside of their external achievements, which again it's a process. But when it happens, it's like a light comes on, and you don't ever really go back there again, because you got to flip the switch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah. Or it's just an unfamiliar thing to do.
Yeah.
Like I don't think we're having conversations about it. People don't have permission to do it, especially Black women. We're taught, oh, you're selfish, right? That's the biggest thing. So I don't know if it's as hard as it is unfamiliar, because if people have been telling you you're selfish your whole life for centering yourself, then you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You don't want to do it. So it's like a gentle, loving, but firm. Because I'm also, I'm a Taurus. We are firm people.
Yeah. I've always been told, like I'm a dreamer. I want too much out in life. It's like, why not? I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Why would you settle for this when there's other stuff that you can have?
That's right. It's my life to live. I'm here.
Like
that's a perfect example of a story that someone told us. But before someone told you that, you weren't thinking that. Like someone had to plant that into your mind. Other than that, you were like, I'm dreaming. I want this out of life, and I'm footloose and fancy free.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
There it is. What's the one question every woman should ask herself before making a big life change?
What do I want? That's it.
What do I want?
That's it. And then you just got to notice what BS statements come up after that. Tell me, what do I want? Well, who am I to want that? I can't have that. No, it's not the right time. No, it's the right. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough. But that's not the question. I didn't ask none of that.
Yeah.
I asked, what do you want? Once we get to that, then we align everything else internally to support getting there. But we got to start with, what do you want? Not what does your mama say you want? Not what are you supposed to want? Not what did you used to want? What do you want right now?
Yeah.
That's it. And that changes everything. But but the infrastructure really is building in the permission to hold that. Because so many of my clients, especially when they first start working with me, is what do I want? And then it's the yeah, buts, it's the no, I can't, it's the so we got to hold that and then transform all the other gunk underneath it.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally get it. I totally get it. Apparently I want too much.
You do not. Lies.
And it's always like, oh, well, you have conversations with people and it's like, well, oh, that's expensive. That's hard. And I'm like, life is hard.
It just is what it is. Capitalism
is hard. Okay.
Capitalism is trash. It makes everything hard, but life doesn't have to be like that. Like we get to choose. I think that's the other thing we don't remember, that we get to choose. We get to be in the driver's seat of our lives. Like you said, this is my life. I get to create it. Yeah. I get to. I'm in charge of my life.
Yeah. And then you hear people like, oh, must be nice. Or, oh, I wish I could do that. You can.
You can. And it is nice.
You can start today.
It is nice. That's why I'm doing it, because it's nice. Why would I do it if it wasn't nice? Yes, it is. I'm going to say it though, because I think people want you to kowtow and cower. Like, you're right. Who am I? No, it is nice. That's why I'm doing it. Yeah. 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 I told you when we started this conversation, this is why people don't like me. Because I'm just like, I'm not gonna play the game of like Black women don't deserve. We deserve everything. Yeah. We deserve the best. We deserve whatever we want. I'm not going to pretend like that's not true. It's true. So live it.
Exactly. Okay, Al, what's one industry trend or hustle culture myth that drives you crazy?
Sleep when you're dead.
Ooh.
It's ridiculous. Sleep. You're a mammal. You're a human. You need sleep. Like, what do you? Because then you're dead and you've done all this stuff for what? Enjoy your life now. That's Hustle culture is alive from the pit of hell.
Oh yeah.
White supremacist domination. It's capitalism. It's
Yeah. It's. What's the most surprising thing people assume about you that couldn't be further from the truth?
People think I'm nicer than I am. I tell my friends all the time. I am nice, but I'm also direct. And so I think people think I'm going to be like a lilting flower, because I'm very warm. I love people. I love people. It's not that I don't. I have a very good friend who does not like people, but people think they do like people because they're very like outgoing and the thing. Now I'm going to sit back in the cut and observe, but when I'm interacting with you, it's actually authentic. I'm not going to be on. I'm not going to be performative. It's not going to be that. So this is the friend I'm like, people think I'm nicer than I am because they see me or they see the pink hair, or they see whatever, and they just think I'm a pushover maybe. And
I get it. Yeah.
I'm like, oh no. That ain't this. Yeah.
Have you ever had to cut off a client, collaborator, or friend for the sake of your peace? And what happened? Tell us the gossip. Give us.
I'm waiting for your gossip channel, so
I know.
Not a client maybe, but I feel like it's been so long that nothing is coming to mind. But I feel like I did at some point, or it just I'll say it this way, because I don't know, we cut them off because they pay me and they're, I'm like, we'll figure this out. But I've had clients who weren't a good match. That's for sure. And then we just were like, okay. But I have had to cut off people who I thought were friends because we weren't a good match over the long haul. When I'm like, oh, I see who you are. Sometimes it's taken me a while to realize people I thought were my friends were not my friends. And so that once I get the clarity, though, then I will cut them off. But it's not always obvious, even though over years I've gotten a lot better at recognizing it. And this is because I genuinely like people. Like, I like people. I see the best in people. But I've had to learn how to get much more boundaried and much more discerning and have much stronger filters, because people like my energy. I had a call today right before we started with someone who I hadn't talked to in years, who was just like, I just miss your energy. And I'm like, I know. So this is a good example. This is a great example, actually. When people, people might think this, okay, this is a good example. Because I love people. I love chit-chatting and I love catching up. But we're not going to have an endless chit-chat conversation. We're not, oh, let's just call. No, we're not going to do it. So with people who, if we're not in regular conversation with each other, if people out of the blue are like, I missed you, let's catch up. I have something on my calendar that's called a tea chat, TEA, like drinking tea. And it's 30 minutes. And I'm like, the best way for us to catch up is to get on my calendar. And I send them a link to the tea chat, and it's a 30-minute call. I know how long it's going to be. They know how long it's going to be. And then we go off to do our separate things. I'm not handing over my availability just for like a endless catch up. That's one.
Yeah.
Also, in my business, I have people who are like, I just want to pick your brain. And I don't offer that, but I have what I call a ask me anything call, and they will pay for it. And you can ask me anything about anything. But this isn't going to be a casual chit chat and we're going to pretend like it's a friend's catching up when you really want to know my business strategy. No, you'll pay for that. So that's what I mean. Like, also boundaries, structure. I love it. I love doing it that way because it's not disingenuous, but it's also not just like freestyling. You're not going to get me for, and like the person I talked to today, it's a 30-minute call. We're not talking about my business strategy. We're not talking about anything that I would charge someone to, I'm not consulting. We're just catching up, but it also has to have structure.
Gotcha.
Which I think to some people feels like, not like as casual, I guess, like, oh, let's just catch up. Here's my number. Call me.
And it's like, what am I calling you for?
Exactly. What are we going to catch up about? I don't know.
I was like, I was telling Lindsay and I was talking, and I had said, you hang out with people, you have all these friends and stuff. And then suddenly you realize the things that you used to do, you're not connecting with them anymore. Right. And that's that trauma. What was that? That trauma collaborative thing, when you were going through something.
Trauma bonding.
Yeah. And it's like when you was going through something and then you realize once you let that out of your system, you have nothing in common with these people.
Correct.
It's like ding, 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 ding. It's like, oh, why? And it's like, how did I allow myself to hang out with these people or be in this circle? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, it's a rude awakening.
It served its purpose, and now it's time to move on. Yes.
Exactly. Has anyone ever tried to ease shame on you, making you feel bad for not doing more? How did you handle it?
No, but I don't pay attention. I don't pay attention to them, and I'm not in those conversations. So even if they're not saying it to me. And my theory is if you don't say it to me, you didn't say it. So maybe they are, but I would be none the wiser. And I just don't care. I don't care. Because I'm like, who are you? One, who are you?
Yeah.
Two, you're miserable. So why would I want what you have if you're miserable? I don't want it. I'm not interested.
I get that. Okay. If you could send a private DM to your younger self about one person she needs to avoid, what would it say?
Oh my gosh.
Come on, give me the tea.
Oh my gosh. This is so intense. I have flashbacks. Oh, okay. So I probably would not send it because I was in a relationship for 3.5 years with a psychopathic narcissist who did not exist. Like they existed, but everything was a lie. I mean, and I'm not talking about catfishing on the internet and we never met. No, we lived together like this, but everything, rooter to the tutor, was a fabrication. So my first thought would be like to avoid this relationship, but and this is not to sanitize it because it was literally grueling. Healing from that was grueling in hell, and it has taken years, but I wouldn't be who I am because there were some serious lessons I needed to learn. Like I said earlier, discernment, trusting myself, walking away the first time, like all of those things, not making excuses for terrible people. Like all of those things I had to learn manually. I thought I knew them, but I got. So I did not obviously know them. And had I not had that experience, had I worn myself away, I don't know where I would have learned those lessons. So it was a grueling hell. The relationship was fine until it ended, and it ended because of all the lies, right? But I didn't know the lies during the relationship. I just knew them at the end. And then I was like, which completely blew my psyche apart because I was like, I was living a lie for 3.5 years. Someone who values the truth and I can't lie, like, which is a whole thing, but that's probably why I was so vulnerable, right? Because I thought everyone told the truth. I have learned that my friend, this same friend who don't like people, is always like, people say stuff just to say stuff. And I'm like, why would you do that? Why don't you just say the things and say what you mean? And they're like, everyone doesn't do that. Yeah. You do that. They always have to remind me I'm a rare exception. And I'm like, everyone's not just being honest and forthright and earnest. They're like, no. Like, okay.
The world would be different if that happened.
It would be. It would be. So I've had to learn
different.
Very different. I've had to learn the very hard way. Yeah. It was devastating, but I've recovered, but it took years. But so I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't say to avoid, but I would tell her to trust her truth and trust her intuition the first time. That's what I would tell her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The drama.
It's
terrible.
So what's next? What are you planning? What are you doing? What are you getting into? What's your anything up and coming?
The video I'm working on right now that I am editing is why I'm no contact with my mother, which has been a very intense and because I also believe in receipts. So I've had to go into the archives of my email and my WhatsApps and all kinds of messaging and all kinds of things. But I think this is also a conversation that supports my ease, because I talk about things like, hiring a house cleaner or flying first class or like these kinds of, or massage, right? Like these kinds of ease supporting, but also, and boundaries even in my business, but also one of the hardest things I've had to do was go no contact with my mother, which has supported my ease because she's not a healthy person, So it's levels to the ease, but it's important. It's important. And I think it can be a very isolating conversation, especially for Black women and girls, because we're raised to be dutiful daughters. We're raised that we don't critique our mothers. We don't, especially not in public, especially not in mixed company, right? Like whatever happens behind closed doors stays behind closed doors.
Yeah. Which is toxic, very toxic.
Hello. Hello. So this is why I'm not afraid to be the one who says it first or says it bold and unapologetically. And so that's the video that I'm currently working on for my YouTube channel, which hopefully will be out this week, hopefully. And other than that, I'm preparing to move abroad. I'm going to send off my copy of my diploma finally. Hopefully
do it now.
Right.
It'll get there, right? Do it
exactly. Now. I'm sending him a scan it. I'm sending him. I'm not sending this. This is taking too long to get here.
I know.
No. And what else am I? And I'm still working one-on-one with clients in the alignment hour, which is one-on-one where we dive deep into like where you're stuck and how we can cut through the fat, cut through the fog, cut through the stuckness, and really help my clients, even in a 45-minute call, get aligned with where they want to go and who they want to be and what they want to do in their life. And then I have my 3-month coaching program, the Success Reset coaching program. And last but not least, I have School of the Well-Rested, which is how we break up with burnout, exhaustion, and overwork for good, because I think it's a relationship ultimately that you have to break up with, just like you break up with a psychopathic narcissist.
Yes. I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
I love this conversation.
Thank you for having me. I'm very honored to be here. Thanks for everyone for joining us.
Yes.
Thank you, Veronica. This has been wonderful. I'm very honored to have been here. And yeah, thank you. This has been a delight.
Yes, and we'll definitely have you back.
I would love that.
Yes.
Oh, maybe when I'm in the world, out and about, when we're out and about in the world.
That would be great. That would be great. Yeah.
I'll send you a view from a non-studio apartment. I mean, I'm like, let me just say, I'm grateful to have a home, right? I'm no shade. I'm I'm grateful to have a home. I just would like compartments and doors.
Yeah. Yeah.
More
and you
doors.
will get that. You will get that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. This was fun. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Until next time. Bye.
Oh.